Back in 2018, my arcade released this Pac-Man Pocket Player. It had a pretty decent version of Pac-Man, plus a couple of bonus games, and I reviewed it right here on GenXGrownUp. But now in 2023, this new Pac-Man Pocket Player Pro has just been released. And so if you already have this one, well, do you need this one? Or if you don't have this one, which one should you buy? Which one is right for you? That's exactly what we're going to try to figure out in this video right after this.
This video brought to you in part by Tommy and the Order of Cosmic Champions. This exciting and heartwarming coming-of-age Gen X novel is available now. Check the link for more info.
Hey there, welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I am John and I am a GenXGrownUp. Thank you so much for clicking on this video to check it out. If you have not already seen my review of the 2018 Pac-Man Pocket Player, it might be a good idea to check that video out before you watch this one. In fact, go ahead and do that and I'll just wait. Oh, I shouldn't wait in real time. I should actually just let you pause and go watch it. More importantly, what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at the new 2023 Pac-Man Pocket Player Pro that promises to be, based on what we've seen on other modern 2023 My Arcade offerings, a much improved and updated version of Pac-Man in this little handheld unit. How does it stack up to this one? Well, let's get to the table and find out. Now, I'd like to start here with a quick recap of what the 2018 Pac-Man Pocket Player had to offer. Now, this was 5 years ago. This followed the same mold and factor of all the Pocket Players, which means we had that circular D-pad, the speaker in the front, and an A and a B button. Not because Pac-Man needs an A and a B button, of course, but because this unit had other games on it besides Pac-Man that did use those buttons. Around back, you can see these two grip/battery doors that each house two AAA batteries. And speaking of those other games, they're listed right here. Pac-Mania and Pac-Panic, also known as Pac-Attack. This was actually my first exposure to Pac-Panic, and I really enjoyed playing it on this Pocket Player. On the bottom, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack. On top, we have a power on-off switch. We have the 5-volt micro USB power in and a volume rocker. And while this 2018 player does have 2 extra games, I'm going to focus on Pac-Man here because obviously it's the showcase and headliner, and it's the one we're comparing against the new Pro player from 2023. So I've got some batteries in it. Power it up. You'll remember when I reviewed this the first time, my criticisms were on the slight differences of the sounds, but the gameplay, pretty doggone good. So we'll go ahead and fire up a game. Yeah, close, just not quite. The other thing I remember noticing, look, there are a lot of little things in this. It is a pretty close version of Pac-Man. It's not the original, most definitely. I remember noting that the dots were just the wrong color entirely. Like, look, they're kind of a bright orange almost, instead of the kind of dim yellow or tan they should be. Changes making it better are good. But the things they focus on were, while good, not necessarily the things that make it a great version of Pac-Man. The ghost chomping is another bit that just really rubbed me the wrong way when I heard it. You heard me argue that the games in Pac-Man especially, the more iconic the game, the more important the details are. And Pac-Man is about as iconic as it gets. And these sounds were just a little off, though again, better than anything we'd seen so far in these tabletop and handheld units, in modern times at least. What's that? The song on level 2? That's another one of those little details that I noticed back when I did my review of this unit. Intermission time. Yeah, just all the pitches and the tune are just a little bit off. It sounds somehow... Oh, and there's that opening music again. It sounds somehow more digital, more mechanical, more tinny. And you could go back and look in another comparison video I did. It's not just the speaker. It's just the sounds are off when I connect it into a headphone, too. Music again. Now look, we're on the second orange. What the heck is the second orange level? Where's the apple at? Just, it's little things like this that made me say, back when I reviewed this, the attention to detail wasn't there. Of course, real Pac-Man fanatics were able to right away spot that the ghost logic in this 2018 Pac-Man was not correct. Blinky doesn't go the right place, we don't have the chase and scatter, alternating movements that we should have. And, you know, someone could say, well, hey, that just makes it a more challenging Pac-Man or a different Pac-Man. That's fine if what we're buying was Pac-Man 2. But if what you're hoping for was
replaying the original Pac-Man using the same strategies and the way you remember it, well, that makes a difference. Now, I want you to remember that second orange, because we're going to come back to it when we look at the 2023 Pro player. But two more things I want to point out, two more idiosyncrasies of the 2018 Pocket player. The first is, let me go ahead and kill off these Pac-Men and show you what happens if I have enough credit. There's one down, so we're on the second orange. It should be the apple, of course. Come on, Blinky, come get me. He just doesn't want to get me. There we go. All right, game over, right? Well, I have 9 credits. Let's hit start. We get to continue. Okay, I mean, again, a nice added feature if what you want is Pac-Man 2 or an evolution of Pac-Man. These were all things that I observed in the 2018 Pac-Man that we're looking at again now, but they're worth pointing out as we look at the 2023. All right, finish this level. All right, moving on to the 5th level, right? An intermission after level 4 that comes after level 5. It's just basic little detail stuff that's like, yeah, you remember Pac-Man? We remember the parts. We put it into a blender, scrambled it up. Let's play that opening music again. Yeah, okay. That should suffice as a recap on the 2018 Pac-Man Pocket Player. Let's move on then to the 2023 Pac-Man Pocket Player Pro. Man, that's a lot of alliteration. This one, as you know, has a slightly different layout, and we can take a peek at it when we open up here. Look, it's vertically oriented, all good news, but you can see at a glance things that have changed, controllers have changed, stuff like that. We'll get into that when we open it up. Flipping it over on the back, we see all the same information, things that we have learned from these new Pocket Player Pros this year. Same 2.75-inch screen, vertically oriented now for 3x4 games, and it's now powered by 4 AA batteries, not AAA, or USB-C, not included. So with that groundwork laid, let's go ahead and get this new 2023 Pac-Man Pocket Player open so we can check it out and compare it to its predecessor. Inside, of course, we have our Pac-Man Pocket Player Pro. That's a lot of P's, as I said. Little lanyard on there. We have instructions. Never need instructions. Those are gone. And then we have this little catalog thing. Now, this is, again, the old catalog. You can see the old Pocket Player here. But recently, they've been putting out these checklist flyers that have all the new models for 2023. And I like checking them off. So let's check off our Pac-Man Pocket Player Pro on the 2023 checklist. So let's start our hardware tour right here on the front. New vertical screen, as we discussed. Gone are those buttons. We don't need buttons for Pac-Man, so they're gone. And they've added a 1-player and 2-player option. That was not present on the 2018. You had to just play 1 player forever. You couldn't play 2 players. That looks like an ad. We have the controller here. It's the same. In fact, it feels like the same 4-way circular D-pad and the front firing speaker. All of that looks similar. And in fact, the artwork looks almost identical. Around back, we have those same little grippy battery door handles, and this time around, as we said, it takes 4 AA's rather than AAA's. The headphone jack is still here on the bottom, but it's been slid over to accommodate this USB-C 5-volt in. You can use that, of course, to power the unit rather than batteries if you decide to. And then we have a parade of things to see up top. Of course, we have the power on-off switch. We have the variable brightness button for that screen, as all the new 2023s have. A home button. I'm not sure why we have a home button. I guess it's just a reset because there's only 1 game on this unit. A credit insert, used to be the A-B button on the old model, and a volume toggle up and down here. Now, before I put batteries in the Pro, let's compare the two physically side by side. So you can see that despite having the vertical screen, you would think maybe this would be a little narrower, but in fact, it's about the same. I would even say that maybe the Pro is a millimeter or 2 wider than the original Pocket Player. Placed side by side, you can easily see the height differential that had to come into play in order to make the screen vertical. But what you may not have been expecting is the thickness differential. I would say the Pro Player is fully, another 25% thicker than the original Pocket Player. Now, maybe that's to accommodate for the bigger battery doors since it uses AA's instead of AAA's, but either way, I found that the new Pro Player feels better in my hand, and that grip around the back is easier to get a hold of. With hardware covered, let's go ahead and peel off this fake Pac-Man screenshot, throw 4 AA batteries into this Pocket Player Pro, and check to see how the software has evolved over 5 years. Now, while I'm getting this device juiced up, I'm going to take just a moment to tell you about Old School Gamer magazine. As I produce this video, Old School Gamer is kicking off its 7th year with a Kickstarter campaign. If you enjoy the kind of stuff we cover here on GenXGrownUp, Old School Gamer is likely right up your alley.
you can click over to genxgrownup.com/OSG2023, where you can get a full year's digital subscription for just $20, or upgrade to a print version delivered right to your mailbox every issue. OSG covers video gaming topics from the 1970s through the 90s, including the games, their creators, and modern products and services inspired by my favorite era of gaming. I'll throw that link in the video description, as well as a link to Old School Gamer's website where you can learn more if you happen to be watching this after the campaign is ended. Okay, let's get back to Pac-Man.
Batteries are in, let's power it on. There's our trip into the arcade, there's our pocket player. Oh, that one had buttons, ours doesn't. My arcade logo. And yeah, and it looks like a ROM booting up. What you would hope to see on a game like this. All the new Pro units for arcade games have that, what appears to be a ROM firing up, what you would have seen if you use emulation historically. Let's start by looking at the brightness. We've seen it doesn't make a lot of difference. It starts on medium. There's a bright mode, there's a dim mode, which actually looks pretty good here. But I think medium is where we're going to stay, so let's stick it on medium. So we also have a credit button up here. So, let's check the reset button. It's just power off, power on. I mean, that feels like a superfluous button since we could always power it off and on. It made sense when you had 3 or 4 games, but no harm, no foul. I mean, it gets the job done. So credit in. Sounds about the same to me. I'm going to put extra credits because we need to check that continue function. 2-player is an option here, so I could do a 2-player start. That's something we could not do on the 2018 version. This is good. It's equally as good as the 2018, and I say that with every implication possible. What about the sounds on eating pellets? Oh, the same. In fact, you know what I want to try? Hold on a second. Now I've got the two side by side here. I've got 1 credit in each. Now obviously the screen layout is somewhat different. This is 2018 Bandai. This one says no date on it. We know it's 2023. We would assume it's 2023. But check this out. Let's start both games and watch the ghost behavior. It's the same version of 2023 we got in 2018 with a vertical layout. Now, what you may or may not know is that this 2018 version was extracted and people found that there was an option in there that you could switch this to a fully vertical layout. The screen didn't support it, but it was in there. So I'm starting to feel there are a few variations as we play this. This is this version with some tweaks. This is not what we had hoped to be, a brand new port of Pac-Man as close to arcade as maybe that Ms. Pac-Man or Galaga were. So I'm back here on the 2023 Pocket Player Pro, and I want to explore a few things that will either verify or debunk my theory that this is just a slightly tweaked version of the 2018. All right, let's finish this level. Are we going to get that music again? Come on, no music, no music. They fixed that. Additionally, you'll see that the dots are no longer that kind of bright, muddy orange color, but now they appear to be the right color. So, look, changes were made. Updates were made. Not wholesale, full ROM rewrite, but changes nonetheless. Improvements, certainly. Oh, that extra man sound. These are the exact same sounds from the 2018 Pocket Player. This is not revamped. It's like almost just re-released with some improvements. Oh, there's our intermission music. You hear it. It's just a little muddier. It's all the same complaints about sound. I don't hear any difference in sound between this and the 2018. The game is improved. But the thing that most bothered me about the 2018, which was those slightly off-key sounds, has not been modified whatsoever. Not to my ear, anyway. If it is, I can't tell the difference. Now, we're on the first orange, which, of course, it should be the only orange, but it'll be interesting to see when we get to level 4 whether or not we progress onto the apple, or are we stuck with another orange. It's just those little differences. Oh, and we should check and see, when does the bonus round, the intermission, when does that happen, right? We would hope it would happen after level 5, but We'll find out. All right, come on, Apple. Come on, Apple. Come on, Apple. Hey, we have an apple. Okay, that's an improvement. Let's make sure the apple matches, because remember, it wasn't orange that popped up mid-screen. I would assume that if they changed the apple there, it's now an apple bonus fruit, right? Keep your eye. What are you? There's an orange down there. What's... How are we going to give me an orange on the apple level? Okay, so I died. Let's see if I continue when I hit the button here. No, I start over, so they did fix the continue problem. All right, so now let me edit forward to me getting just past the apple with the orange bonus to see if the bonus level, the intermission rather, happens where it should or after the apple. You know, true Pac-Man fans will tell you things like, you know, Blinky's supposed to be up around the top right. That's his home, and he's definitely going top left. All right, let's finish this and see. We should not have an intermission. We should have just level 5. Nope, there's intermission 2. Just one more little nugget of evidence that tells me this is the 2018 Pac-Man version with some notable updates. Look, we fixed some colors in the palette. We fixed the music playing too much. But the ghost logic, the sounds, the core gameplay, it's vertical now, which looks better, but the Pac-Man experience is only, I will say, negligibly. Oh, here's the apple. It's on the stupid Kiwi level. So now we're offset by 1. See, it's those little details. I was just talking about how my arcade is finally getting it. We want as closely as possible to mimic the original arcade game experience. And what we're getting here is the same simulation we had 5 years ago, but without 2 extra games.
So what do you think? I mean, from everything we've seen, it's pretty clear that what's in this new 2023 model is the same version from 2018 with some small bug corrections and improvements. But it is not the full-blown ROM rewrite that we've come to love in these new 2023 models. Most notably that Galaga that even included the no-shoot bug that you could do if you followed the right instructions. That told me that the version of Galaga was like maybe even like a decompiled and recompiled version. Like you don't accidentally include game-breaking bugs like that we want to keep it authentic without actually using the original ROM. What we have here, as you saw, is you could argue better, the same, or worse than the one that came out in 2018. It depends on what's right for you. Now, as you know, in these reviews and comparisons, it's not my goal to sell you something, though there are always links down in the description if you decide it's right for you. But my goal here is for you to determine what is right for you so you can make informed buying decisions. So here's the deal. If you don't own the 2018 version of this Pocket Player and don't care about those bonus games, well then there's a good argument for picking this one up instead. Across the board, everything for Pac-Man that was in the 2018 has been either the same or somewhat improved here. Look, we got the vertical aspect ratio. We got rid of the bonus buttons you didn't need. We fixed the color palette. We kind of fixed the orange apple level problem, not entirely. But while it's not perfect and it's not arcade accurate, it's better-ish than the one that came out in 2018. Now, if you do care about those bonus games, that argument starts to crumble a little bit. More importantly, if you don't own any version of these Pocket Players and would like to have one, well, it's going to come down to, do you really care about the Pac-Man accuracy, or do you really just want to have more Pac-Man fun to be had? Because if that's the case, maybe the one from 2018 is better for you, because the overall Pac-Man experience, though not as accurate, is nearly the same as what came out here in 2023. As I said, it just almost feels like an updated re-release, not a full-blown 2023 style kind of release that we're seeing from My Arcade this year. There's so much to cover in terms of Pac-Man that what I'm going to do is throw some links over my shoulders here and here to some other My Arcade and Pac-Man related videos that I have been doing recently. I certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video though, and I cannot wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.